All right, hello. Welcome to the third episode of the EJB podcast. It is a 5 p.m. on a Wednesday, and there's a couple people here in the Walter Hall lobby, but, we're still making it work. Today I have the amazing percussionist, composer, and awesome guy, Thomas Carli. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing good.
Thanks for having me on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Very happy you're able to do this for me today.
Yeah, man.
What'd you get up to today?
Today was a busy day. I went to yoga class this morning.
Yoga class
at Hard House. That was really fun.
Is that like with your res or
yeah, a bunch of people in my res did that, and yeah, I did yoga, and then I came to keyboard tutorial. Then I had a theory lecture, then followed by some chamber, then some practicing. Now I'm ready to eat some food because I haven't eaten anything all day. So I'm excited.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
So you're in your second semester now of your first year. How would you say that you enjoyed your first semester overall?
I loved my first semester.
Yeah.
Overall, the vibe at U of T, just in the music building, and not even that, just like everywhere, it's like so much more supportive than I thought it would be.
Really?
Yeah, I was expecting like a lot of competitiveness, and not necessarily. I was expecting a lot of like unhealthy competitiveness, and like because when you're in a music school that can happen. But no, just everyone's super supportive, and just like great vibes means I'm having a good time. So that's kind of what I'm thinking so far. But yeah, no, first semester was really fun. Great opportunities, great people, and I really like being here. So I'm happy to be here.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Did you come to the school already knowing what you wanted to do, or are you still kind of in the dark a bit of your current goals?
Yeah, so I'm in common year right now.
Okay.
And I went into common year thinking, I'll do like common first year, then I'll do like major in composition. Like that was kind of the vibe. Like I think I was almost at like probably like 6 months ago, I was still like really into the idea of doing that. But the more I'm at this school, I realize I actually love the percussion program more than I thought I would.
Okay.
So as of right now, I'm directing more towards like a major in performance and a minor in composition.
It's awesome.
That's what
man.
I'm hoping to do. Yeah.
So I want to ask you, what could you recall would be your earliest musical memory of like music kind of impacting you in a way? It doesn't have to do with you like touching an instrument or anything like that. Just sometime like maybe like the first song you heard and you're just like, wow, I like that.
Oh, that's a good question. I have one. When I was like maybe 6 or 7. I mean, this is maybe not the earliest, but this is one of the earliest significant ones. Is when I was like 6 or 7. I remember I went to the Mariposa Folk Festival with my family.
Okay.
Because my dad was playing in a band that was playing on like the stage or something, and I was going to watch him. And I remember they were having a sound check, and this band for sound check. This is a band made of like just unbelievable musicians, just guys who can just play like in groove so hard. And I remember just during the sound check, I was off stage sitting or just standing watching in awe. This is when I just started like playing drums a little bit, and I was just in awe of like the whole band. They were doing a sound check, and I remember there's a percussionist and a drummer, and the percussionist was just grooving out on some congas or something, and then he looked at me and he goes, "Come here," and he has a shaker for me. And I was like, oh my God. So I just went up on stage, and I got to stand like right at the front of the stage and literally just go like but like I remember that being like the coolest thing. And then that was when I was like, whoa, this feels good. Like I'm playing with some of the best people, and I'm just able to just play a shaker, and it means that much, even just a shaker. And that was kind of like a really cool moment. And that's kind of, I feel like after that I started like getting really into drumming, and that was probably the first like significant music memory I have. Yeah.
Right, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude.
So I know that both of your parents are professional musicians in some, right? And how would you say that has like affected your personal musical upbringing? Have you found that if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have just like touched anything musically at all? Yeah,
well, my parents made me play piano when I was younger. But yeah, for sure. I feel like I would grow up going, because my mom plays in the Toronto Symphony. I grew up going to like Toronto Symphony concerts, and and even now when I still go, it just means that much more, because I'm not only going to see like an amazing orchestra, and I love going to see like orchestral music, but it's like I'm also going to see my mom play. So it's like that's such a cool thing. But yeah, they've always been really supportive of like me wanting to become a musician, which is cool, and just as mentors, because they're both like fairly successful musicians, and just like showing like it is actually possible, because it is, it can be a lot of work
Right.
to become a musician, but just having them as mentors has been really cool. And yeah, I feel like I wouldn't want to be a musician if it wasn't for them. Yeah.
See, and have you found that your personal interest in, say, drumming, playing percussion, and composing has been also, you say, like a self-directed thing either? Like, what could you say about personally finding that in yourself at a certain point of your younger life?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like, that's a good question. I feel like when I started, the idea was like, oh, I want to just like be in a band and play like this,
rip it,
and just rip it. I feel like that was kind of the idea, but it's grown to so much more than that. I mean, there was a point in my life when it was like percussion, like even the way I came into playing percussion was like, I wanted to go to music camp, but like there was no like just rock drums at the music camp that I wanted to go to. So like you have to pick a classical instrument. I was like, oh, I'll do percussion. And that was kind of always what my relationship with percussion was. It was like, oh, I can't play drums, so I'll play percussion. But I feel like this year specifically, having like taken, I've never really taken like weekly percussion lessons before. It's always kind of been like a lesson here, a lesson there, or like I had a drum teacher who also taught percussion lessons, or throwing in the occasional percussion lessons. But I feel like having lessons every week has really motivated me just to keep going, and it's the most motivated I've ever been since I've started playing percussion. So that's really nice, and I feel like, yeah, it's just because I'm here and I'm surrounded by it, playing every day. You'd think I'd hate it, but I still love it. So there you go.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So where do you say that your personal start with composition started? Where did that creative spark kind of come from?
So I love, my first thing probably was when I was in, I think it was probably with composition, it was probably started like beginning high school. I loved going to the symphony, and I started looking at scores of the pieces I'd go and see. Like I remember looking at the score of like Dvorak's New World Symphony and just like being so fascinated by it. But then I've always been like a big movie fan, and then I started being like, oh, like dissecting the scores of movies and stuff.
Right.
And so yeah, I didn't actually start writing though probably till about grade 11, like seriously writing. But yeah, like that was kind of the start, like movies and classical music and like orchestral music was like the start for me. Yeah.
Dang. So would you say, where am I going with this question? Would you say that movies and soundtracking is something that you've always kind of wanted to do, or is it a sense where you were making these pieces, like here's my piece, or is it more you want to soundtrack something that like exists kind of thing?
Yeah, well, the thing that draws me towards like soundtrack and doing something in that kind of way is that I love the idea of writing the music, playing the recording, mixing myself, doing everything.
Right.
It may sound really egotistical, but it's something I really enjoy doing. Like the process of first writing it, then recording it, then mixing it, is something I really like. And because I don't want to just do one of those three things. Like I don't want to just become a producer. I don't want to just write like sheet music and then throw it off to like that is fun in itself. But as a whole of what I want to do as a career, it definitely I want it to be something that involves playing, like producing and writing, like all those three things together. So that's what really I love about film, other than the actual genre of film composing and movies and stuff like that. I actually love the process of making music all by myself, which is, that's a funny thing to say, but it is true that like those three skills are like my three favorite things to do in music. So yeah.
In terms of rock drumming, I know that's where you basically got your start with percussion like that. How long have you been playing in rock bands before now? Because I know you're in one right now. I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Before now.
Yeah. So I remember I used to go to little music camps and play in rock bands there. That was kind of the start. I really liked that. And I was like, I wonder if I could find a band. And then when I was in grade 9, someone I'd met at the camp, their drummer dropped out of the band, and they were looking for a new drummer. So I auditioned, and I got into that band called Blue Opaline, which I was with till about late last year, kind of thing. But yeah, that was like my first experience, and I got to see what it was like playing in a band and going around the city and playing different gigs, playing at different venues and seeing just what the vibe was. And I really I really liked it, and from there I played. And
were you guys like independent, or was it like a group of your buds, or?
Yeah, well, it was me and my buddy were in the band together, and then it was always kind of like just friends. Like it was never like a forced thing, and so yeah, which gave it a really great and supportive vibe. But I played in that band, and then you play in a few bands throughout high school and stuff. Like I played in the prom band and stuff like
Nice.
that. That was cool. And then recently I was in a metal band over the summer for a little bit, which was to playing bass, which is like a totally different experience, which was really cool. And then I recently joined a band called the Special Constables.
How's that been?
That's been great. I mean, I just one of the most like musically, like one of the most solid band I've ever played in. Everyone's just really got their stuff down, and everyone's like really serious about it and really passionate about it.
And are they people from your high school that you've known like for a bit?
Yeah, so
already?
the reason I know them is because the bass player in that band was also the bass player in Blue Up Line.
Okay.
At a point. So I knew him, and when they needed a drummer, they asked me to come play with them, and the rest is history. Went from there. But yeah, no, and then I kind of met the other guys, and they're all really cool, and it's a great vibe. We have some music coming out in a couple months, which is exciting. I think we're doing 2 songs with the producer, and then we're doing a few kind of little demo side projects on our own, and yeah, it's been exciting. And yeah, I've never really done too much recording, so it's cool to have that experience.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start wrapping this up, but I want to ask you this last thing. What are your personal goals musically? Or you can even throw some like random thing in about self-improvement, but like what are your personal goals for this year, 2023?
Oh, that's a good one. I'd say like a big goal is just like, it's probably actually getting into the composition program, because I'm not yet in it, but I have to do like submit a portfolio and stuff, and that's a big goal of mine, getting in there. And then also just as composing as much as I can. I want to try to do some more, like as I mentioned, I played in bands. I want to like kind of write some more songs, and kind of like maybe produce my own kind of stuff, and
Right.
and release my own kind of like like solo
Yeah.
artist thing. Like I don't know, like that's something that I mean, I write songs all the time, but I've never actually like completed any of them, or recorded any of them. And
Right. And you don't want to be
released them.
stuck as like the drummer, like that.
Yeah, right. I mean,
like,
I've always loved being like
the
I love
drummer.
singing. I love being the drummer, but I also love singing, and I love
Yeah.
being like
taking
playing bass and
creative
stuff.
control of.
Yeah,
that
I'm
kind of
a bit of a
thing,
control freak.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but just because it's something that I haven't done yet, and I think it'd be cool to explore. Yeah,
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, man. Appreciate this. Yeah.
Do you have any upcoming shows or any cool things you want to mention or like plug before we wrap this up?
Oh, not really. It's kind of like the dog days of January right now. So I played a show with my band like in December, but come see TSYO with Adrian and I. That's fun. Yeah, that'll be good. But no, nothing to plug. Just check out my band if you can. Special Constables. We're pretty cool. Yeah.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
You've been an amazing guest today.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much for watching. Thomas Carli, everyone. His Instagram and the Special Constables will be linked down below. Thank you so much again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Another great episode. Peace, guys.